I'm Whitney.
And I'm Brian. And this is the Whitney and Brian Show. Today, guys, it's an A Day.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Whitney. How's your day going so far, and how's February 3rd treating you?
Perfectly great. Brian, how about you?
It's just perfect for me. And speaking of February 3rd, today is Friday, February 3rd. And you know what that means?
Pizza for lunch?
Yup, but we'll get into that later. Starting now, we're going to get right into our monthly pillar. Now for today's great monthly quote, it's going to be all about honesty. For today's quote, we have, "Honesty is the best policy." Benjamin Franklin.
He wasn't wrong. Now let's move on to our weather. Hey Brian, what's the weather for today?
So glad you asked, Whitney. Today's weather is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 67.
Cool. Now let's move on to our lunch.
Well, guys, today for lunch, you guessed it, we're having cheese pizza.
Woo!
Yippee!
Again.
Anyways,
Like
guys, besides cheese pizza, we're going to be having raw carrot sticks with dip, Caesar salad with dressing, and a banana.
I like bananas.
Me too. Anyways, guys, let's move on to student news. That's right, guys. Valentine's Day is breathing over our shoulders. Wow, it almost reminds me of Halloween. Anyways, high school year dances from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Middle school year dances from 12:45 to 2:45. Tickets are being sold in the cafeteria as well as on the school website. Pre-sale tickets are $10 and the day of will be $12. If you have any questions, please contact Ms. White at 205. Boom!
Also, the yearbook is now being sold, but instead of $45, the price is going up to $55. You can get your yearbook at yearbookordercenter.com.
And that's all for our club news. Just kidding, we're moving on to that right now! There are no clubs after school today, but any girls who are looking to play flag football, please see Coach Johnson in room 125 before 2:50. Anything you'd like to add?
No.
Didn't think so! That's all for today, guys.
Okay, bye.
It's February, which means it's Black History Month.
Black History Month was created to focus attention on the contributions of African Americans. And here is the special segment.
Every year in February, America celebrates Black History Month. But have you ever stopped and wondered, why is it in February? Let's find out on today's episode of Colossal Question. It hasn't gone unnoticed on the internet that Black History Month also just so happens to fall on the shortest month of the year. Coincidence? I think not. But luckily, not for a bad reason. February became Black History Month not because it's shorter than any other month, but because a couple of important figures happen to have February birthdays. You see, the idea goes all the way back to the mid-1920s, when a historian named Carter G. Woodson worked with an organization to create what they called Negro History Week. Mr. Woodson didn't like that most school textbooks at the time either minimized or all-out ignored much of Black history in the U.S. and the contributions of all kinds of Black historical figures. So he decided to take matters into his own hands and help raise awareness. He worked with a nonprofit group to organize the event, landing on the second week of February, hoping it would help raise awareness for all these lost stories. Why the second week of February specifically? Well, Woodson picked that week because of two big birthdays, Abraham Lincoln on the 12th and Frederick Douglass on the 14th. Lincoln gave the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared that all enslaved people were free. And Frederick Douglass was a former slave and an abolitionist who was a powerful speaker and writer on African American issues before, during, and after the Civil War. Both men were iconic figures, and both had birthdays the same week. So, to Carter G. Woodson, it seemed like a no-brainer. At first, declaring a specific week to learn the history of Black Americans was more or less ignored in some parts of the country, while others took to it right away. It took some time, but over the years, mayors, school districts, and colleges around the country started to recognize it more and more. Over time, the groundswell of interest helped the holiday grow to the point where students at Kent State University in 1969 proposed the idea of a Black History Month. They built off the back of the week-long occasion and decided to make the entire month of February a chance to learn about Black history. The event took place on the school's campus in February of 1970. The idea spread and fast. Just 6 years later, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month as part of the bicentennial, a series of celebrations for America's 200th birthday. So, why is February Black History Month? Well, definitely not because it's the shortest month of the year, but to recognize two iconic figures in U.S. history, who happened to be born in February. So 28 days might make the shortest month, but it's plenty of time to learn, just like Carter G. Woodson always wanted.
That's all for today's news, Eagles.
Thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow to see what happens next.
And as always,
Soar